Well, guys, the holidays have just wrapped up, and I hope all of you had an incredible one, full of great times with friends and family, and that you also got some really good presents. And I'm sure many of you got a brand new Nintendo Switch 2 for the holidays, as that was pretty much the hottest item that people really wanted for their presents this year, and it's no surprise because it's of course a brand new next generation Nintendo system, and you know that there's going to be some incredible games coming to it within the coming years, but already there's some awesome games as well too, like Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. But I wanted to make this video because if you're still someone who's thinking about buying a Nintendo Switch 2, or you know that you're probably going to get one eventually at some point, it might actually be worth it to try to get it sooner rather than later. And the reason I'm saying this is because of all of the stuff that's going on right now in the tech space. It's not really looking too good for just normal everyday consumers like us who are trying to get some of these latest tech products. Now, if you're on social media often, then I'm sure by now you've seen some of the memes that have been going around about how RAM is super expensive for your computer, and like there's so many memes and jokes that people make about how the price of RAM has skyrocketed and how people are like trying to sell so many things to try to be able to afford RAM now, and the price of it is just so much higher than what it normally used to be. And the reason this is happening is because of AI, and I'm sure you guys have noticed by now that AI is pretty much going ballistic everywhere when it comes to the different websites you use, the platforms and like services, like everything now is just shoving AI into it with like image generation or video generation or AI searches or AI like helpers and chatbots and assistants and like all this other random stuff. But the thing is, AI isn't just able to magically form whenever you need it. Like, you need a lot of really powerful data centers to be able to run all of that AI kind of algorithms and technology that's being used. And so because of that, a lot of these companies that start to produce RAM are starting to kind of shift their focus now because of all of these data centers that are requiring high amounts of RAM and all of this stuff to be able to kind of have these AI services. And because of that, they're not really caring as much about normal consumers and stuff. And so the price of RAM is just going extremely high, and it's just skyrocketing like we've never seen before. So what does this have to do with the Nintendo Switch 2? Well, just like everything else, the Nintendo Switch 2 also uses RAM, and it actually uses a pretty high amount of RAM compared to the previous Switch 1, which only had 4GB of RAM. The Nintendo Switch 2 is actually using 12GB of RAM, so it is triple the memory, it is significantly better and faster, but because of all of these prices for RAM that are going really high up, Nintendo is also going to have to pay the price for this. And so you can see right here in this article, it says Nintendo Switch 2 could become more expensive as RAM costs jump 41%. Nintendo sold more than 10 million units of Switch 2 in its first 4 months, marking it the most successful console launch to date. However, soaring DRAM and NAND costs have massively eroded the company's margins to the point that price hikes may now be on the table. The Nintendo Switch 2 launched on the 5th of June 2025 at a recommended retail price of US $449 and sold more than 10 million units within its first 4 months. This record-breaking figure was driven in part by the console's wide availability. By contrast, the Sony PlayStation 5 had sold 7.8 million units within its first 6 months, but was almost continuously out of stock during this period. According to Bloomberg, Nintendo is currently grappling with the DRAM supply crisis. The 12GB of RAM in the Switch 2 now cost the company 41% more than it did 3 months ago. Furthermore, the console's 256GB of NAND flash memory has also risen in price by 8%, a development that also affects the affordability of game cards and micro SD express cards. Bloomberg noted that Nintendo had lost about US $14 billion in market value since early December, with its share price falling to the lowest level since the Switch 2's debut due to the console's rising production costs. DRAM prices are expected to climb further throughout 2026, which may compel Nintendo to raise the Switch 2's retail price. Meanwhile, laptops scheduled for release next year are projected to be at least 20% more expensive as a result of surging DRAM and NAND costs. Nintendo could settle for lower profit margins instead, but that might add further pressure on its share price. And so you can see right there, just like everyone else, Nintendo is also suffering now with the prices of everything when it comes to making the Nintendo Switch 2, as the prices of these components now are going to be more expensive, and especially the RAM, which is looking to be 41% more expensive than how it used to be when they first made these Switch 2s. And it looks like even the price of like the storage with the 256GB that's inside of the system is also going to be 8% more expensive, and the prices of this could also go up even higher moving into 2026. 2026, so it's just not really looking too good. And in case you don't know, Nintendo actually likes to make a profit off of their hardware, and a lot of times companies will actually sell consoles and devices and stuff at a loss for how much money it costs for them to make that device and how much they're selling it to make it more affordable for the customer, and the hope that they just make the money back through the games and other services that they're going to buy. But Nintendo really likes to make a profit off of their systems, and they pretty much did that with the entire Nintendo Switch's generation, and because that system was so successful, Nintendo was able to make a crazy amount of money off of that, and I'm sure they're also trying to do the exact same thing with the Nintendo Switch 2. But with the prices of RAM and storage and everything starting to increase now, Nintendo is definitely going to have to take some action if they really want to keep making profit. Otherwise, it's not going to be good for their company in terms of like the sales and everything that's going on. So really just looking into the future, Doctor Strange style, I'm pretty much seeing that there is going to be some type of price increase that's definitely going to be coming at some point in the future. I mean, just a couple months ago in August of this year, Nintendo did a price increase for the original Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch OLED, and both of these devices are years old, where the Nintendo Switch OLED came out in 2021, so it's only about 4 years old, but the original Nintendo Switch came out in 2017. It is 8 years old, and both of these devices still got a price increase in 2025 because of market conditions and all of that. So what makes you think that if they were willing to change the price of systems that are years old, that they won't be doing that for their brand new flagship console that's pretty much going to be like their new next generation device that everybody is really going to be looking to get? And so I'm not making this video to try to scare you into buying a Switch 2 right now or anything like that, but more so just making you aware of the situation that's going on right now with the RAM prices and the storage prices and everything, and just how it's most likely looking like that there probably is going to be a price increase happening at some point, and it might be worth to try to get a Nintendo Switch 2 before that happens, because especially once you get like the really big games that are going to be coming out for the Switch 2, like a brand new generation of Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Super Smash Bros, and all of that, and then if the Switch 2 costs even more, it's going to be really unfortunate to try to buy everything then. So I hope that you can get a Switch 2 before that happens, because I do think that it is pretty likely that we might be getting some type of price increase, and it's really going to suck then if a Switch 2 ends up costing like $500 or $520 or something just for the system because of everything that's going on. And I guess really the only solution to this is just hoping that the AI bubble pops soon and companies start realizing that it's not really worth kind of investing all of this money and putting all of these resources into just AI, because it's not really something that people are caring about a ton, and that way we can have stuff return to normal and have these RAM prices and everything come down to actually be more affordable for the consumers and people who actually do care about just having it in their video game systems and computers and all of that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely gonna have some more videos talking about Nintendo, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about all of this. Are you thinking about buying a Nintendo Switch 2 soon? How do you feel about everything that's going on right now? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about it, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.